asks for permission to. Okay, there it is. So now it's actually officially recording. So first of all, hi everybody. It's a pleasure to have superstars on the Metaverse podcast again. So we have today Nav, Mr. Metaverse, who went deep into the trenches for about 12 months. I haven't seen you, buddy.
Yep.
And you're gonna tell everybody what you've been up to. And we have from California, is that correct?
Sure.
Uh, Athena Demos, who's building, she's the CEO and founder of Big Rock Creative. And we'd like to, I'd love to, and I'm sure our viewers as well would love to learn more about you and what you're doing. I've taken a look at your website and it blew my mind. Like, what is the thing? Is this the real Burning Man? Like,
Well, there's the Burning Man that happens in the Upper Nevada desert, and that is the Burning Man event. Then we have the Burning Man community that is globally happening all around the world in, I don't even know how many countries at this point, 40, 50 countries. And then we have the digital burners, which is what we do. And that's Burnersphere. BRCVR presents Burnersphere.
wow.
And it's all real. Everything is real. So, we say it's virtual reality. We have augmented reality. We have physical reality. We have digital reality. But in the end, it's all reality.
I like the concept that it's all, all those virtual realities and augmented realities are all fused in the end into one. Our brain processes this whole thing as a fusion of everything together, combined, right? So even if I'm wearing this device, right, and I'm getting an extra layer and then an extra layer, in the end, my brain it tells me like, okay, oh sure, this is what you're seeing. This is what you're processing. This is your experience.
Yeah, your
This is
memory logs it the same. It's not like we have a compartment for digital things in our memory and a compartment for physical things in our memory. Our memory just remembers the experiences.
That's true. That's true. I know Nav has been dealing a lot, like in the last couple of years, I would say Nav was talking a lot in conferences and podcasts about that aspect as well, the psychological effect of the metaverse. One of the more memorable scenes that he's shown me and to the crowd. I'm not sure what was the name of the conference, but it was the doctor. Do you remember that? The doctor that is
Oh,
working on one hand of a
yeah,
patient.
yeah. The science experiment, which it's a fake hand, and then he actually is using like physical objects on the fake hand, but the brain is registering it like a real hand.
Wow, that was something. So I like that concept, and it's true. It's scientifically proven that our brain, in the end, processes the experience as real.
Yeah.
That's how powerful these devices and this technology. Even though, like, I think we're in the baby steps right now of anything that we can term like, use the metaverse term. We're in baby steps, and this is already quite powerful. Like, um, yeah, I have another example here. I wanna show the viewers first of all your website, and then now I'd like to learn a little bit about what you've been doing. Um, there it is. That's your web, right? Big Rock Creative.
Yes, that is.
So that's like a fusion of the Nevada experience in the Burning Man, and on top of it, like I'm seeing a few other layers here. Like sometimes it pops up.
Well, we do a lot more than just Burnersphere. We've done projects. So this is a amalgamation of a lot of the projects that we've done. Brianna's Garden, the Cricketverse, FanCon XR, a project that we did for the UN Youth Council. So we've done a lot of work beyond just Burning Man, and we're still working on a lot of different projects beyond Burner Sphere, which is the standalone app that we are creating.
Crazy. And what's your, if I may ask, Lima, I'm going to get a little bit technical for our nerdy viewers, but like, what's your favorite graphic engine? What's your magic sauce? Like, how do you like to approach those projects?
Well, we build everything with Unity. Unity out of the box is so much more adaptable for virtual reality headsets.
Gotcha.
But I
Like
also come from television and film production. And so from a production standpoint, it makes sense to use Unreal Engine.
right.
The graphic quality is so much higher, and we need something like that. I mean, Unity can be brought up to those standards as well.
Right.
The Lion's King was done in Unity, so they're both really great. But where Unity outshines Unreal Engine is in getting it into a VR headset in a multiplayer social VR environment. Unity is just easier.
I hear you. You know, I'm kind of, I would say I'm in the beginning of the way. So I've been exploring Unity for more than a year now. Um, but in the last 18 months, mostly I've been, sorry, the shadow is just covering me. In the last 18 months, I've been diving even deeper into Unreal Engine. And because of I'm a sucker for visuals, you know, like I get what you're saying, like it's easier, the monetization is easier, even like, let's be honest here, the coding is easier on this platform, but I'm just a sucker for the visuals, which is, and it's probably the only reason I'm working nowadays on Unreal Engine. Navir is actually for, I think, 14 years. Like
Yeah, it was part,
he
you know me, Usher, my opinion on it.
yeah.
I'm a sucker for Unity, obviously. I was part of the Unity Life Help team at Unity, so
Okay.
I'm all Unity. So, but that aside, from the very like base point here, I've gone into all the other engines. In fact, I even had a little dive into Godot, and
Mhm.
you just come right back to Unity, and
Yeah.
everyone will come right back to Unity, whether you like it or not. Um, and yes, the reason why a lot of us left Unity for a little bit was because of the little hoopla that they had the past year with John pulling a really foolish move, and he got let go for that. Uh, when you literally try and make it so that every opening you get charged money, that's just greed at its finest levels. But thankfully, the new leaders decided to listen to the users, and it's the developers and the actual dev community. And so I'm really happy and very hopeful of where the next round of Unity is going. That being said, I completely agree with Athena. When you're trying to get these experiences right into the hands of users, Unity just works out of the box faster. And we are in a situation right now where, it's not like we've got 10 years to figure this out. Everybody is competing at such a speed. And with
Right.
AI, it's even more faster. You
Right.
have to innovate as fast as possible. And Unity just lets you do that. But you're right on the visuals. Unreal Engine, hands down, everyone knows it's the best for visuals. But when it comes down to actually getting into a device that is as small as Oculus Quest, it's not possible because you're trying to push that level of visuals inside of something that's so tiny. And you think about your latest, game systems like the PS5 or the Xbox, they're big systems because they need to manage that level of graphics with, all of that graphical input. You can't get that on this smaller size
Yeah.
device. It's just not going to right now at this point, anyways. So that's why Unity is such a great tool overall. And for me, it's a love-hate relationship with the thing because of that fact, because of all of the politics. I'm part of the politics side, and I know that. But from the actual user side, usability side, I completely agree, hands down with Athena. It is a great tool. And I do love absolutely what all the Unreal Engine team does. I mean, it's amazing that they're trying to bring things together with the metaverse. But I think because of what they have as an engine, their focus is on high quality graphics and good for it. Like we need that. And there are experiences that are just for that. And I think that's they both are incredible engines. In fact, all three of them, even Godot. But Godot is just it's a different conversation. It's the best
Yeah,
part.
and we didn't even go down that road. Like we started with Unity, we were like, well, let's try Unreal, and then we were like,
Yeah.
let's go back to because you make something beautiful, and then you're like, well, we got to take this off, we got to do this, we got to
Yeah.
bring this down, we got to bring this quality down. We're like, well, we should have just done this. It saves time. If you just
Right.
do it in Unity, if you're going to
Yeah.
build metaverse worlds, if you just do it in Unity, it'll save you time. And I agree with you. We are moving at light speed. And if you are going to compete in this market, then you have to move at that speed, if not faster.
That's right.
I,
100%.
I really like what you're saying, like the fact that it's a like, first of all, I agree with both of you. This is a super competitive field, right? And with the aspect of polishing the model, or reducing polygons, and making it easier and easier, like lighter and lighter and lighter, I've just had a deep dive of 6 weeks. I couldn't get up of my computer, trying to process. Let me show you quickly, the digital twin that I've been working on. So going from this amount of data, right, where I have all the lights and I have all these tons of polygons. I think this guy was about 10 million polygons. And then when you really want to get it into the headset, not even like
No.
this was like, let me just change the sun angle. This was about, oh, sorry. There you go. So this was like too big of a portion. And then I had to shave it down. And then I went here, and it's still not enough. Like, I have to keep making it easier and easier. Like, I keep like polishing the model, because it's just too much information. And like, it's like my brain refuses to understand the fact that, this chip, bless you,
Thank
this
you.
chip right here is like a tiny Android chip. Whereas, I'm working with a devil machine with an NVIDIA 4070 GTX on my computer, and it can barely process all this
Yeah.
information. So, it's a struggle. I'm so passionate and I'm so excited to see all this stuff in a headset, but you got to make your pick. You got to say, okay, my scene is still, I have to cut it down to 500,000 polygons, right? I
Well,
can't have,
even less.
yeah,
Because you're not taking taking into consideration, does it fit in the headset, is like step one. Step two, you have to take into consideration are the people that are going to be viewing it. And if you're just going to do single player, then that's fine. But if
yeah,
you do multiplayer, every single avatar you have in the world is a set of polygons that everyone's looking at, and then themselves. And so that adds to the polygon count. And you have frame rate to take into consideration. You don't want anything less than 72 frames per second, because you'll
yeah.
make people sick. And if somebody gets sick in your world, then you just created the worst experience for them, and they won't go back. And when people are entering VR for the first time, and your experience is the first experience that they're going to have, and they get sick, they're going to think VR overall is sick. So you have a responsibility to the entire industry and everyone in it to make your experience as clean and participant friendly as possible, and take into consideration not just the world that you're creating, but how the person coming into the world is going to experience it, and how many people are going to be coming into the world to experience it, and add that to your count.
Absolutely. Well said, Athena. And that's exactly it. Even at Unity, and even when I work with Unity and our technologies, it's the same thing. You cannot expect to get these larger polygons in without screwing up your frame rate. And with the Oculus Quest, the devices, from 1, 2, and 3, and right now you've got a mix. Right now we're in the 2, 3 phase. One is kind of, now phased out, but even with 2 and 3, you need to hit at least 60 FPS. or else they're going to get dizzy. And the second they get dizzy, because if you've ever been in an Oculus Quest, it starts chopping. And when those frames drop, your head may turn here, but the frames to catch up, it takes time. And that time, your brain says, oh, well, then there's something going wrong. Either I am like psychologically messed up. So your brain feels that. And that's how you start getting dizzy and how you start getting like as if you want to throw up. And that's why even as developers, when we're developing stuff, that happens to us a lot. Like I can only deal with it for a certain amount of time, even though I'll be inside of a headset for like several hours. But if I've got a botched job polygon model and it slows down, I'll have to take a break because I'll start feeling kind of like, woozy. But yeah, it comes down to lower your polygons. And then from the game developer standpoint, with game developers, what we do is we find little, what we call magic tricks or visual tricks to help reduce things down. Things such as parallax scrolling. We do imposters, and imposters are fakes of the actual background. So for example, like you have a massive visual usher with the CN Tower. Well, what we would do is we would take something like a photo, which is just a 2D plane, right? And we can actually have it with a transparent background. And now for the end user, from the vantage point that they're looking at, they won't see a difference. But the computer will, the actual computer itself will. And so now I just did this the other day. I had a model that was 10,000 polygons. I was able to flip it around into an imposter and shift the actual visuals to bring it from 10,000 down to just 4 polygons. And that is an incredible savings. And thus now the actual experience is fast, it's snappy. And overall, unless you're an actual visual connoisseur, you will never notice.
Yeah, never notice. We actually call them plates because Doug and I come from Hollywood, where we use all the Hollywood lingo. So when you said imposter, I was like, oh, that makes total sense. I've never called it that because it's a plate. You have your scene, and then you have you enter in the plate, and then you cut to the next scene, and the person watching it has no idea that it wasn't full.
We call those imposters because they're an imposter of the actual visual.
Yeah, right? And you have to improve performance. Also, you have to take into consideration that you might have a fast computer and you might have super fast internet and like 5G, but nobody else does.
Right.
That's right. And then when you bring in the other users, especially with Ready Player Me avatars, for example, you're looking at, especially if you got the high-end quality ones, they're about 60,000 polys per user. I mean, we can get them down to about 5,000 to 7,000 polys. But even still, now imagine 20 people, that's already 200,000 polys.
Yep.
And that right there is your max, like before you start hitting frame rate drop. So it's like you got 20 people in. That's why our experience is we try and have 4 to 8 max. And we're just like, all right, we're cutting it off. I don't care that you can't do more. And everyone wants like 10,000, 20,000 people. We're like, we will auto clone a plot because we now are focusing on balancing. And we went through this hell over the past years. Like everyone wants thousands and thousands and thousands of users. We're just like, listen, we get that. And we've seen those, but then those experiences look like trash.
Yeah, they do. They look like the graphics from the 90s.
That's right.
It's Miss Pac-Man in a VR world. It's fun, but yeah. But we're trying to get to about 100 people. We feel like, somewhere between 50 and 100, you feel the sense of a crowd, but you don't feel crowded. If you get into, human nature, if you get into a really big crowd, say you go to a concert or a sporting event and there's 100,000 people there, you are then going to find the 10 people that you know, and you're just going to hang out with them.
Right.
But if you're in a room with like 50 people, you're more likely to branch out and meet new people. So somewhere between 50 and 100, over 100, we get into these little cliques, but 50 to 100. So that's what we're aiming at. And we're looking at ways in which we can do LOD with the avatars. So if they're close to you and you're talking to them, you see them. But if they're in the distance, but they're in the world, you kind of see a shadow of them. And that is really what happens in physical reality, is that the person that's next to you, you're focused on them. And in the periphery are these other people, but you're not focused on them. They're less important to your visual amount of polygons. So we are trying to do that in the virtual world. as well as with the world itself. So the art that's closest to you, you see
Right.
that. And the art that's further away has been
LOD.
yeah, exactly. LOD.
And for those who are watching, LOD is level of detail, is that's what it means, is level of detail. So basically, one of the things, and we use this in gaming all the time, is when we are actually trying to reduce it from a computational point. If something is very, very far away on the actual screen, it might only represent about 3, 4, maybe up to 10 pixels, but we don't need to have that physical model, which could be 100 or even 1,000 polygons there. You just need to cover up to 4 pixels. That could just be a tiny little 2D plane that covers that. And then as it gets closer, you could change your level of detail models to now 50 polygons, 100 polygons, and then when it's really close, maybe the 1,000 polygons or whatever it is. So just for those who are watching to understand what we're talking about.
Thank you.
That's crazy. I agree 100% that this is human psychology, right? Like you're going to a concert here in the Rogers Center, or you're going anywhere else. You're gonna hang out with 4 to 5 people, not with. You do feel the energy. Don't get me wrong. When you're immersed with 10,000 people, you do feel the energy. But in the end, you're gonna hang out with your own group. I'm just wondering from a technical point of view, like let's run 10, 20 years along the line, and let's say we have now internet which is 6G or 7G or 10G, and we with the latency we can process amount of information that we can't even imagine right now. How do you think that this will change the experiences that specifically for both of you as creators? How do you think that this is going to affect your creations, your games, your game environment?
So I'll tell you from my end. I mean, we've seen it with the iPhone. I'll give you a perfect example with these smartphones here. There was a point where the phone technology was just horrendous. At the beginning, it was very, very hard. Now, today, phones are so powerful. We've gotten to a point where it's just like everything is just so powerful and works that there is no longer a reason to upgrade. And we've
Right.
gotten to that point where even now, anyone who's building an app now, if you think about the apps from those days and building a general app today, it's no longer an issue of will I have the resources? I know that my app is going to work in general, for most of the 2D facing apps, right? That I can be like, all right, it's going to work. And I think that's what we're going to start seeing in the 3D realm as well, as we start getting into those, higher end graphics and processors. I was just at one of the university fairs with the University of Waterloo, and just checking out, they were showing me a transistor with nanotechnology that had like thousands of chips on this tiny little board. And it's just showing you how tiny and more powerful this technology is going to become. And with AI just coming in to help out, it's going to grow faster. And I think we're actually going to get to a point, especially with what um, Elon Musk just showed yesterday with the robotics now. I don't know if you guys saw that with his new robots. It was pretty neat. But basically, I think we're going to get to a point where um, I don't even know if we're going to be coding this. I think it'll just be generated, in my opinion, where we start getting to those points where it's like the AI tech will literally just take what we're saying. And for example, if I say I want to go to Italy, it'll generate it for me at the highest quality and all the processing, everything done. And I could just click a button, just enter it. The holodeck of the future. I think we're almost at those points in these next 20 years. Hopefully that helps. That's my opinion.
I don't know what to say. It's just a scary thought, like the combination, the fusion of all these tech together, like quantum chips in next, I don't know, 15, 20 years, combined with AI, combined with virtual reality, you're going to have to literally question anything that you're seeing. You're going to walk in the street with something with a lighter version of, this headset, the size of something like from Black Mirror, just a tiny lens on your eye to see something. And for every app that is gonna go out there, there's gonna have a counter app that verifies that what you're seeing is, does it have human consciousness behind it or not? So because otherwise you're just gonna get lost. Yeah, that's a bit scary, I would say.
Once we get to generative, yes, but
Yeah,
we're not there yet.
no, we're still far.
We're still
Uh,
in iterative, not generative.
right, right. And as we, as we mention in every time we get to talk, we get to this point, like with every piece of technology that has been introduced to humanity, there is a chance to use it for, for good, and there is a chance to abuse it and use it for, wrongdoing. And that's true for, anything you can imagine, from blockchain to, to your everyday drugs, from coffee to opium, right? Not only virtual reality and extended reality and stuff like that. Uh,
I use a hammer analogy when I
what's
talk
that?
about AI and most technologies, but now when I talk about I say AI is a tool. And it's not that AI is going to take your job. It's that the people who know how to use it and prompt it and have figured it out as the tool are going to take your job. Uh, but AI is a tool like a hammer. And you can use a hammer to build an amazing cabin in the woods. And it'll give you shelter, and you can create amazing art with it. Or you could take that hammer and hit somebody over the head and kill them.
Ouch.
And every tool has the possibility to create amazing art or to take life. And it's
Right.
about the person who wields that tool. And unfortunately, our nature has us do whatever we can to try to get around the rules.
Yeah.
And the more we do that, because AI is iterative right now, the more we do that, the more we're teaching it and training it to do that, to get around the protections that have been put in place. And we're wielding this tool without realizing it. And we're like shaking the hammer towards somebody's head without realizing that we're doing it. And we need to stop. Awareness is what we need.
I like that. I like that concept a lot. I'm gonna use, you know what? I'm gonna credit you, but I'm gonna use your hammer analogy from now on because I really like that one.
Thank you.
Um, Now, would you like to share with us what you've been up to for the last year?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like feel free as well if you'd like to show anything on screen. Yeah.
Sure. Just lots of updates and upgrades on, of course, on Charmy and getting things going. Really just pushing forward now. Charmy itself has upgraded. We've got new backends and new systems inside. Our goal is to really just get ease of use going. Just really make it the WordPress of the metaverse. At the end of the day, just really fast, easy tools, easy systems. Even our backend editor is growing a little faster. Just really making it, like ease of use. That's the biggest key, right? You can actually add your objects, whatever you want. As you can see, the whole interface has now become a lot easier to use. And you can actually just put in let's say a box inside of there and just kind of go right into editing and stuff. So everything is really fast, simple, and you can save things and view it fast. Um, I've been focused a lot on building out Charmy to the next level now and bringing it to the masses after understanding what a lot of people have been doing with the tech, what they've been using it for, that sort of thing. So that helps out. And, of course, the beauty of this is it works on PC, Mac, and even in Oculus Quest and VR. And of course, you want to keep your polys, as low as possible. But, like there you go, it's up and running fast, which is nice, right? It just works out of the box. That's what we tried to do, and of course, powered by Unity, which gets everything up and running. But coming back to specifically what Athena was saying with AI, this has been a challenge that I think a lot of founders and a lot of people who are working today are going to find. And that is just because these new technologies come out and these new tools come out, it doesn't mean that you need to integrate it into your tech. And I'm going to be very specific about that. How you integrate into your system, it needs to make sense. And that's what I've been dealing with a lot now is first and foremost, our technology can do X and it does it very well. But then you hear all about AI and a lot of people just running to AI and they just want to throw AI randomly into their product or service. And, it's like wonderful just because they could say AI. And at the beginning parts, I used to do that. I used to do a lot of that. And then after that, it was like, changing to a point of what's the functionality, what's the actual use here. Uh, oh, sorry, is my camera flickering? Let me just turn that off there.
It just stopped. Okay, great.
There, good.
You're good.
All right. So what is the actual purpose of AI in your system, right? So if whether it's an accounting system, how is AI going to help you to be better and faster? Don't just throw in AI just because, right? Make sure that you get AI that is trained to do what you're asking it to do, right? And that comes down to first, can you as a human being break down those steps and do those and put it into step format? People just think that just because AI is there, I can just throw it in and it'll magically do everything like a magical fix. And it doesn't work that way. You really need to understand first what is your processes inside of your system, whatever it is, break those down. And this is what the whole job market was you break it down, here's the small pieces, and then you hire people to do them. What I would say is now, instead of hiring people to do them, ask yourself, is there an AI model that works for that piece? And there's a beautiful website called There's an AI for that. And I think I can actually show you
I'm gonna
guys the
Google
link
it
here.
right now.
There's an AI for that. And literally, it's an AI search engine which goes over every single AI ever created thus far. All right. And you can actually just search in and it'll show you every single tool available today that is an AI tool that you can use
That's
for
great.
literally anything. Yeah, yeah.
I love
So
that. That's great. Thank you.
thank you. Yeah, no worries, no worries. And this is exactly it. It's like, do I need to get something that's going to build a car? Or do I need something that's going to, just take an image and clean it up, right? What part of your processes is this actual AI tool going to be used for? And it's just like human nature. If you told me to build a mountain, I can't start building a mountain. I need to break it down to one pebble. You know what I mean? And then actually start trying to automate for that. I think that's where a lot of people bringing AI into their systems are starting to, see that bottleneck where they're like, oh, okay, we thought we could just put AI in and it's going to work. And it really doesn't work that way. And I would say if you're going to start in with putting in AI and all these different processes, first break down what it is you're trying to do, and then just start automating those little parts. And if you can, let's say you've got 10 steps, if you can automate 2 or 3 of them, you've just given yourself a 20 to 30% savings in overall automation. I think that's where AI needs to come into place. And we've been looking at that with Charmy's side is, how can we reduce things down? How can we reduce the clutter and take it step by step? And if there's already a tool that does really, really good, we're just like, you know what? Charmy's just going to partner with that and just say, you could use this tool rather than, going out there and putting it into the tech because it makes no sense. Like, for example, there is, what's it called? I think it's going to come here. Blockade Labs, that's it. So Blockade Labs is a great example. We said, why are we going to reinvent the wheel when somebody's already done it? With Blockade Labs, you can actually generate a skybox. Okay,
Yeah.
literally a beautiful skybox. And some of you have probably already used this, but it's like we put in a version that was with DALI 2 using OpenAI and all the other stuff. And we're just like, why the hell did we do this when this is even better? And now we just work with them. And we just say, okay, guys, just go to Blockade Labs, right? And you'll get a beautiful skybox that just works out of the box. And I'll just show you here for those who are watching visually. I'll just show you like anything you can imagine. Let's say it's a city sphere here. Look at this. Like I could just be like here. City of Toronto on a beautiful sunny day, right?
Dude,
And
you just saved me a trip. You just saved me a whole trip to the CN Tower to create a
there
panoramic
you
for my
go.
project.
There you go. But that's exactly it. And coming back to what Athena was saying earlier, we have to watch how we are putting in polygons and stuff like this. A skybox already can save a lot of your polys, and it's a lot less computationally when it comes to.
Yeah, I can quantitate it for you. Like, but in my case, it cuts down 9 million polygons. So please, yeah.
There you go, right? Like, look at this, right? Like, it's like, here you go, and then you put your world right in between it. But here's the thing, Osher. At the end of the day, your use case is maybe very different from what myself and even what Athena is doing. Mine is more real-time graphical interaction. The users have to be there together. I think Athena has something similar, but in that situation, polygons and speed matter, and it's a very delicate balance between that graphical visual and that overall versus in yours, Osher, if you're actually doing an actual like this is a visual experience, then Unreal Engine and the highest level of polys may actually be a proper solution for you.
It is, but I have to say that the integration with Meta devices, right? Like I haven't tried yet the Apple Vision Pro, but the Meta device into Unreal Engine it's not an easy experience, like dealing in the end you got on those devices an Android chip, kind of like what you have on your phone, your average phone. And my feeling out of it is that Meta is doing whatever they can to get you hooked on their apps and not to go and develop your own. Like, but maybe I'm wrong. No accusation, but it's not an easy process to connect those devices and then deploy your experience. Yeah,
from Unreal to any headset. It doesn't matter whether it's Meta, Apple Vision Pro. You cannot. Apple Vision Pro is Unity based.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Any VR headset, it's going to be easier to go from Unity to the headset. Any of them, from the maybe the Vario, maybe, but all the HTC, Pico, Meta, AVP, all of them. It is night and day easier to go from Unity to a headset.
Right.
Because Unity is designed more for that purpose and as a gaming engine. Unreal Engine leaned into virtual production.
Yeah.
And so they're really, I mean, yes, it's a gaming engine, but they're leaning heavily into virtual production.
Right.
And so all virtual production is Unreal Engine.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess it brings me to, at least my last written question, but, like you guys feel free,
Well, Asha, a quick tip for you. If you do want to experience it, you have to, at the higher levels, tether.
Yeah,
you
tether.
Like that, but tethering will get you the high level quality because it's mirroring your actual screen. We used to do that a lot with a lot of our clients whenever they come to Unity and they're like, I want that higher level experience. They were going to a trade show or something, want to show that. Tethering is a way to actually get the high polygons in. However, it is not a proper use case because you're getting these devices to move around, not to really tether. But if you really need to, you could tether it and you can actually get the higher end graphics coming in for the most part.
But that limits your audience a lot.
Massively
Limits your audience. If you're looking at sharing your experience with a market size, you want to go after who has the headsets and what is the headset that is sold the most. That is the Quest 2.
Yeah.
And so you need a design for the Quest 2. And then everyone above that will be able to participate with it.
100%. Yeah.
And we're talking, Athena, about what, like 20 million devices like that have been sold worldwide, the Quest 2? Like that's what came up on the ChatGPT recently to me.
I think so.
Let me see that. But if you guys have other numbers,
and that's the thing is right now is you want to focus on these devices because they're heavily used when it comes to it. And what China is doing is you see replication at mass levels of that similar device. And they're actually getting even better. I think the Chinese devices can do even more. And especially with one of the prototypes I saw had AI built in. And it was pretty cool what it could do. And it's like, at the end of the day, we're going to see more and more of that coming out. But at that level of capability, that's why tethering is just not normal. It's not a normal use case. But for those who are tethering, they have to have a special cable and they have to have a gaming PC because only certain gaming graphic cards can actually do the tethering correctly. So that's the other thing as well. Yeah.
Crazy. I guess, I'm going to get to, what are you guys anticipating for yourselves in next, not 20 years, but in the next couple of years or so? And I guess for me as an Unreal Engine heavy user, it's It's a creation of a headset by Unreal, by Epic Games. Maybe now that Disney invested in them like 1.5 billion, it's not such a far-fetched wish. Yeah, I'd
Asher,
love
in
to
the
see.
world of VR, that's still a penny. I'm just telling you.
Yes, I also think the reason why Disney invested
Yeah,
was more for virtual production,
interesting.
for making their movies and their television shows
Yeah,
and
that's
their
true.
games.
That's true. It's
Yeah,
completely true.
yeah.
So what about
That's
you?
that's
Like,
that's really that's really its forte. I know a
right,
lot of
right.
people that work in Unreal Engine, and all of them work in Hollywood.
Okay, there you go. But you do live in California, not in Toronto, so that also makes a difference.
I don't actually live in California, but yes, that does make a difference. It makes a difference that that's the industry that I came from before I pivoted into virtual reality.
Yeah, here most of the people who are working on Unreal Engine are 99% from what I'm seeing here in Toronto and Vancouver as well, the West Coast, are gamers. They're using Unreal Engine as indie game studios mostly. The with the Israeli team, most of them are working on virtual production. So you're probably right. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's a very powerful system to actually, use across the board, but it is for the visuals. You want to get a AAA experience, but at the same time, you're looking at these single user experiences because of the level of graphics. We just saw several games come out. I don't know what they used, but from what I could tell, it seems like they used Unreal Engine or their own built-in. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it was Unreal from what I could see with Black Myth Wukong. Did you guys see that one? That was
Mm-mm.
beautiful, by the way. I loved it. Oh my goodness. But that kind of shows the level of gaming graphics. But Unreal Engine is very powerful, and I think that Disney is going to be capitalizing on that with the visuals. But yeah, I think that's what it is. And of course, with from the political side, personal opinion, you know what? I'm not even going to say it, but I'll actually, I'll say it. I think Apple did, even though Apple stuff works, with their Vision Pro works with the Unreal Engine. I think because of the little spat with Epic Games, they kind of push Unity a little
Yeah,
bit more. My personal opinion, though, I don't have any facts to back that up.
right.
But yeah, Unity is definitely the tool, in my opinion. If you're gonna go for VR, definitely use that for sure, a lot more.
Got you. Cool. So yeah, guys, like feel free if you have this is going great, and if you have any questions of yourselves or any topics you'd like to bring up, feel free to do that.
Well, I just want to invite everybody that's listening to go to burnersphere.com and sign up to be included in the alpha and then closed beta of our new app. We have, because I come from a documentary film background, we went to Burning Man and filmed in 360 and 180 stereoscopic formats. And now we're meshing the practical footage in with the digital twin. So you will walk and experience it seamlessly between digital and physical reality. And you can do this with all of your friends from anywhere around the world. At the beginning, it will require a Quest headset, but for our alpha, but once we get into closed beta, we will have it open for desktop computers, both PC and Mac. And then when we open it to the public, fingers crossed in June, it will be available across platform, Steam, as well as the Quest Store, as well as desktop computers. And at some point in time on the roadmap, we will get it to work on mobile.
It's amazing. I'm taking a look at the Burning Man project right now. But
Well, here, I could show the
yeah,
video.
please go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Here we go. Oh, hold on. Audio.
It's like to be part of the.
Let's start over.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to be part of the most radical creative community on Earth? to walk the dusty desert surrounded by awe-inspiring art and the energy of 80,000 dreamers. Well, now you can. 365 days a year. BRCVR presents Burnersphere, the all-new immersive app that brings the heart and soul of Burning Man to life across virtual and digital platforms. Crafted by veteran burners in collaboration with Burning Man Project, this groundbreaking social VR experience connects you to the ethos of Burning Man through an immersive, ever-evolving digital world. Explore stunningly captured art installations, dive into the history of Burning Man through the years, and immerse yourself inside 360 and 3D video captured at the event. Enjoy spontaneous human connections in real time with other burners from anywhere in the world.
No, Ice is right here.
Ice is right here.
And form bonds through the shared experience of interactive art, music, and community. Join the alpha phase today and become part of this ever-evolving digital burner movement.
Come get a hug at the Hug Deli. Who wants a hug?
Sign up now at burnersphere.com.
Wow. Simply wow. Burnersphere.com, right?
Burnersphere.com.
That's amazing. That was wild. Even just not even actually being there, just seeing on screen was an experience. I love that.
Thank you. It is really immersive and a lot of fun.
Looks like fun,
Fantastic.
absolutely.
That's fantastic.
That's what I love about it. And, it's just seeing this come to life. This is exactly what we used to dream of as game developers, was one day we were going to get to this tech, but we live from the VRML world from back in the day, and the tech was never there. And the fact that we're doing this now, it's exciting. So amazing stuff, amazing work, Athena.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, we're dreamers, and we have very big dreams. The best part is our principle of communal effort, which says that we have to bring everyone together and work on it together. And the team that has come to make Burnersphere a reality has really been the greatest pleasure for me to work with these people.
That's fantastic. How many people are working on your team, if I may ask?
Oh, it fluctuates. It really depends on what everyone has going on in their lives. So
Right.
sometimes we're 20 and sometimes we're 10 and sometimes it's just Doug and I, but somewhere between 10 and 20. And we're in our seed round of funding right now. So if anybody's listening and they want to come in, as we raise more funds, we'll be able to hire more people. And I'd like to have a team of about 30 to 40 people that really bring this to life.
That's amazing. Nav, I don't know in what stage you're at. Like if you're also raising funds right now. But
No, so we're not raising funds. In fact, we're actually going to be having a hackathon coming up. Is what we're planning out, which will be fun. It'll be our very first hackathon to get people into building up their own metaverse galaxies, and it's gonna be fun. Just literally come on out. You get an opportunity to set up your own galaxy and learn how to build your own metaverse experiences, your own 3D virtual worlds where all the multi-user stuff, everything just works out of the box, and you can even test it out in VR, and it's pretty neat. With no code. Yeah. So, that's a good question. November, I believe it's 7th, 8th, and 9th. It's the weekend here. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Let me just get the actual calendar up here. It's a full screen here.
And how do people sign up?
Right. Both of you, please send me the links.
Absolutely.
So, send me
8th, 9th, and 7th, 8th, and 9th. Gotcha. So 8th and 9th. We're gonna most likely be at Blockhack, and we will send you the link. I'll share it for all your listeners as well, and you guys can all go there and sign up and coming out and experience Blockhack for this year. It's going to be a lot of fun with the whole communities here when it comes to blockchain and related tech. We're gonna have a lot of fun during those times. Nice, all the hearts.
You might want to consider participating in the MIT Reality Hack and have your software there for the hackers. There's 600 hackers that participate.
Oh,
And
wow.
that's in
Okay.
January.
I'm
That's in
seeing it
January.
right
Okay, I
now. It
gotta check
looks
that out.
amazing.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
MIT Reality Hack. I'm a judge. I've been a judge for
Okay.
the last 3 years. I did the keynote 2 years ago, and it's so much fun. And you don't
Amazing. You
have
know
to
what? We should
have a
talk. Yeah.
technology background to participate, but I always encourage companies to participate and let the hackers play with your software.
I
Right.
like that. That's a great idea. I may actually do that. Thank you so much for that,
Yeah,
Tina.
you're welcome.
Yeah, I'm seeing the just taking a look at the rules and the schedule. It looks amazing. It was actually just my next question. What are your plans, both of you, in terms of conferences and hackathon? But I guess you just like touch base on that one. Um, so look, like any useful links that you got for your projects and fundraising and stuff like that, please give it to me. Like I also just started this week with a GoFundMe for my project for the digital twin. So I'm also gonna link to that one. And you know that hackathon in MIT looks fabulous. So I'm gonna, yeah, you might meet me there. Other than that, I can't think of any other XR conference other than the big ones are almost 10 months away. Those run by Epic Games in California and other spots. Nav, do you have any plans for 2025?
It's literally just building and doing a lot of these hackathons, just getting the word out there, and not even the word out there, just getting people to start building the metaverse for themselves. You know, the 3D immersive web. Our goal is mass adoption via ease of use, but in simple formats, right? A very simplistic thing, so that anyone who's building out their own visuals, whatever it is, whatever their vision is, they can use our technology to get that job done.
Got you. Got you. Guys, awesome. Thank you both for jumping in on this call, for coming to the Metaverse podcast. It's been a pleasure. Athena, what a pleasure to finally meet you. Not in
Yeah.
person, but I guess we can make it happen in 2025. And now seeing you out of the trenches, out of the coding trenches, finally. Wow. Dude, I ought to buy you at least a coffee, if not a beer, in the
I
coming month.
know. I know. A lot of people have been missing me. I've been missing all the communities and just coming out there to all the different events, speaking on stages. But this is what founders do, right? We dive in and we build tech and beautiful ideas and bring it to the world and hopefully we're able to share that in the coming years ahead.
Well, hopefully I'll meet both of you in January at MIT.
Amazing.
That sounds like a
Amazing.
plan.
All right,
Pleasure meeting
guys.
you, Athena.
Take
Nice
care.
meeting you too.
Take care, everyone.
Ciao.